Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Mmm, delicious. Today is Tuesday, September 6th, and I am back. I am back from my travels. Back here in the grape arbor, as you can see if you were on video. And yeah, nice to be home. Uh, Travels were good, though. Just came back from WorldCon in Chicago, which was fabulous. It was personally my best WorldCon ever. I very much enjoyed it. It was the layout was amazing because it was all in the single hotel. All of the events and everything were all in the one hotel where most everyone was staying, and that is just infinitely preferable to me. These other world cons that I've gone to, Dublin, Kansas City, and San Jose, they were all in like convention center type things that were separate from the hotel. And in Dublin, uh, because the hotel was fairly expensive, we stayed at an Airbnb that was a considerable distance from the events of the convention. And while I really liked the place we stayed in, it's just a totally different con experience if you're not staying where the convention is occurring. When you have to deliberately go to the convention space to do things, people tend to go there and leave. Whereas at the hotel, you get to see people on their way to stuff. So you see people much more. Also, this was like our first, at least for me and for many people, first big convention since pandemic. So even though I had been to Bubonicon uh, the weekend before and Jack Williamson lectureship in the spring, even though I've done a few other things, this was the first big one and the first time that I had physically seen so many people. And it was just a delight. It was really great to be able to hang out in the bar and talk to people again. Oh, an Apolycon, I forgot that one. Apolycon was different because we didn't have a lot of author hangout time. And this was great. Just lots of talk. There are just conversations that only happen in person and interactions that only happen in person. And we kept talking about that throughout the entire convention about how meaningful that was just to be able to interact with people in person again. Saw lots of old friends, saw lots of people that I have like talked to online in the last few years. It was interesting for me that this was the first big convention I'd been to since I've been president of SIFWA, and it was nice. You know, one thing that was really lovely, and a lot of you all out there make this effort too, but a lot of people came up to thank me for the work I'm doing, which was immensely gratifying. Very interestingly, several people made a point of coming up to me and saying, commenting on how very smooth my presidency has been, and then adding that they know that that means that we've been handling a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes, um, because things are never that smooth. And that's really gratifying too, because that means that hard work doesn't go unnoticed, right? It's one of those things, like the ballet dancer whose aesthetic, whose whole effort, whose goal is to appear to be graceful and to float and to be effortless. Meanwhile, her tendons are screaming, her toes are about to give way, she's sweating bullets, but the audience sees the fairy princess. And so it was really lovely to have people who appreciated both things, who thought that the ballet was looking fantastic, but also appreciated all of the sweating of bullets that had gone on in the background. I had a great coffee with Catherine Asaro, and she came and found me at my table talk and asked if we, and which was like second to last day, and asked if I could have dinner or something like that. And we ended up doing like scheduled Tetris to find a time to meet up. And I wasn't sure what she wanted. And Catherine Asaro, if you don't know, has been around for quite a long time. She's a former president of SIFWA, one of the, I think, is it 8 or 9? I actually wrote it down. Well, it turns out I only wrote down the number of grandmasters. There have been 9 female grandmasters. I think Mercedes Lackey makes 10. I need to update my numbers, but I'm pretty sure this number sticks in my head. But that I am the 8th female president of SIFWA since 1965. So, and Catherine Asaro was one of them. And she was telling me something that I didn't know. It turned out she didn't really want anything in particular. She wanted to tell me what a great job she thought I was doing, um, the recognizing the ballet, and she and we just kind of gossiped. I kind of told her stuff. It's nice to talk to a former president because I can gossip about some things and they'll keep it to themselves. It's like, oh, this is what was going on behind the scenes because they can appreciate it. I also had some great conversations with Mary Robinette Kowal, similar stuff. And sorry, I was just thinking about something Mary Robinette was telling me that I need to remember. So, but one thing that Catherine told me that I hadn't known was that she was the one to appoint Anne McCaffrey Grandmaster. And that was, I hadn't known that. And and it's so cool because, as many of you know, if you've been listening for a long time, Anne McCaffrey is, and will forever be one of my great heroes. And it remains a great sorrow to me that I never got to meet her. But it's like, what is that? 1 degree of separation? Is it 1 or 2? Uh, you know, knowing people who knew her. Anne McCaffrey was really my gateway drug to fantasy. And yeah, so, and it was interesting to hear Catherine talk about that back in the day. There had been pushback on appointing Anne McCaffrey Grandmaster. And, and she said, of course, nobody would say exactly that they thought it was too girly, but that was the subtext. And yeah, it was just really good to make that contact and talk with people. So yeah, we had a SIFWA meet and greet. We did not have the suite this year. People kept asking, did we have one? I'm like, no. But we did have a short meet and greet in the bar, and yeah, and I was on a bunch of programming, sold some books at my signing table. I'm like, never again going to do a signing table without the ability to sign books, because none of the WorldCon booksellers, and there were a lot down in the dealer's room, none of them carried my books. I saw Jennifer Estep's books, though, sent her a photo of those. But yeah, not one of them had my books. And this is actually partly my fault, mea culpa, that we could have emailed this dealer's email address and asked them to carry books. So maybe I'll do that next time. Certainly won't be next year. Next year's WorldCon is in Chengdu, China. Year after that is Glasgow. Year after that is Seattle. I don't know if I'll go to Glasgow. Maybe. I saw that Dublin had put in a bid for another one. It would depend on if Glasgow would be this deal of Well, there were so many things wrong with Dublin. Those terribly, terribly small meeting spaces that you couldn't get into any of the panels programming. Sucked. So I don't know if Glasgow would be the same deal, but we'll see. 2 years down the road, I'm not going to think about it now. So that's my last convention for the year, except for, I guess I shouldn't say it's penultimate convention, except for a World Fantasy Con in New Orleans at first week of November, which I'm very much looking forward to. I will be rooming with Kelly Robson. Her wife isn't attending, so Kelly and I will share a room. That was that would be great. I did get to see both Kelly and Alex at WorldCon. Spent some time with them drinking wine. That was wonderful. Also, uh, went out for an amazing dinner, Greek food, inspired Greek, which it was so good. Which makes me now understand how a lot of the other Greek food I've had is definitely uninspired. I was on some excellent panels, moderated some excellent panels. Uh, right now, it's all kind of a blur. Stayed up too late talking to people in the bar, as is my want. Um, yeah. Oh, and also, this was very cool. The One of the great things about the location was it was the Chicago Hyatt Regency downtown, and it was right on the riverfront. And Chicago, this downtown was just amazingly beautiful. They have done so much to make it gorgeous. And so you could go down and walk along that riverfront. And I walked all the way down to the lake, which wasn't very far. Saw the marina and Navy Pier and all of those things. Um, they had the architectural boat tours leaving from like right in front of the hotel, and I really wanted to go on one. I went on one in like 2015 at RT. We like took a cab downtown to take the architectural boat tour, and it's just one of the best things ever. And I really wanted to do that, and just ran out of time. One thing for me about being at conventions, and I think I've mentioned this before, a lot of people go out and do touring around and see the city and that sort of thing. And I always feel like I'm at the convention to talk to people, that's my reason to be there. And so going on the architectural boat tour wasn't talking to people, but I did get to go on a long walk along the riverfront almost every morning, all but one morning. And then the final morning, I got to walk all the way down to a beach. One of my friends had Alex, a different Alex, had found this beach, and so we went down on Sunday morning and went swimming, and that was really great. It was it's so cool the way Lakeshore Drive divides downtown from the lake. And they had closed Lakeshore Drive. It was Sunday morning of Labor Day weekend, and there were all of these bicyclists going up and down Lakeshore Drive. No, they'd closed it to traffic, and that was so neat to see. And it was kind of a stormy morning, but we had timed it well before it started to rain, and so we went swimming, and then I walked back in time to clean up and see. It was funny because I know I have this phrase from my mother, but I used it twice to different response. I should tell the story in order. So I had said to Kelly when I met her very early for breakfast one morning, uh, like 6:45. She picked me up at 6:45, and we went to this place at 7 that opened at 7, which was the only morning I didn't walk because of that. And but we both had stuff later that morning, so it was like, go have breakfast and so we can get back. And I said, okay, well, I'm not going to be cute. And she said, untrue. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be fixed up for the day yet. And I'd said something similar to my friend Alex when we went swimming, because I said, well, he had kept track of how long it took to walk down there, which I really appreciated. And I said, well, I've just patted, allowed enough time to get cute. And he said, "You are cute," and I was like, "Yeah." Um, so maybe I need a different phrase. I For me, it always means cuting up is like doing the makeup and hair thing, right? Putting the nice clothes on. Uh, and I know that my mom says that we always say that, like, "Oh, well, are we going to be cute for this?" so so that was all good. I'm sure I have thoughts. Right now, my brain is still a little empty. I flew back late Sunday night. It was a little bit of a um, grueling drive back after landing. I was a little tired, but got up yesterday morning. Did not podcast. I just didn't have that much energy, but I did get some words written. I have to finish Shadow Wizard this week, people. Um, I'm actually in okay-ish shape on it. I've got about 17,000 words to go, but I really want to maybe get to the end this week. there, there goes waffling on my determination, right? The thing is, let me tell you about the thing. So let's see. I am at 72,000 words, 72,155. I'm guessing it's going to come out around 89. Um, I've only got a few chapters left, which is interesting because I haven't gone back to revise from the beginning, right? Longtime listeners will know that usually by now I would have done that, and I haven't, which is interesting. Interesting to me. Process always changes, right? So I think I'm going to write pretty much all the way to the end, um, but I don't need to necessarily hit that 89K because then I'm going to go back and revise from the beginning. And as always, I will undoubtedly add. So I need about a week, 6 working days to revise, knock on wood, and then a few days to do my out loud proofing for the final pass to get it uploaded by what's my drop dead date to upload? Ta-ta-da. September 25th. So right now I feel like I'm in okay shape. 20 days, 19 days. Um, a little bit less because I need a day to format. So 3 weeks, I think I can get this done. Um, I'm thinking of ending it in a slightly different way, which I don't feel like I could talk to you all about and get feedback because it might be too spoilery. I might ask Kareen. I think I got a mosquito bite on my forehead, did I? Alas. So, um, so yeah, just that's the big focus now. Finishing this book, and I had another thought there that I may have lost to the mosquito bite. Um, yeah, it's been an interesting book to write. There's a lot of layers to this one. It's like a parfait. Uh, yeah, so that was about all I did yesterday. I also took a nap, slept for like 2.5 hours, which I'm not typically a napper, but it was funny because I finished writing. It was like I got a little over 1,000 words, and which I thought was pretty good for my empty brain. And then ate lunch, spent a little time with David chatting, and then laid down, slept for 2.5 hours, and I woke up at like 4:45. Which so I was like, oh, I napped all the way till happy hour. So it felt like Regency lady. I've been reading more Lisa Kleypas, so that's how that felt. So on that note, I'm going to see if I can have a more productive day today. And oh, next week, September 13th, BookBub featured deal for Dark Wizard, and it's going to be free download to sort of goose the sales ahead of Shadow Wizard coming out. So tell your friends. Tell your friends, your family. Tell them to read it and then buy the rest of the series, right? And be ready for Jadrin and Sully's story. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. Uh, Tomorrow I'll be blogging at the SFF7, so I won't be here, but I'll be back on Thursday. You all take care, okay? Bye bye. And it would help if, like, I can actually activate the button. Goodbye.